Okay, so besides the standard problems we mentioned before in the previous lecture, and we can also have some other interesting, also newer problems started in computer vision as well. In this page, we show you with the example for the image style transfer. And if you still remember, when we talk about the auto-encoder model, we also provide you with some basic knowledge about how to transfer the image from one style to another, right? So normally given an image input like this one, which is the regular image, we can actually transfer the style from this image to some other different styles. Now in this example, I want to change the style of this image into some painting style instead. Now given the style we show you at the bottom, we want to convert this image into different styles. Now this one, right? And combine, and this one is still about this photo, however the style is more similar to this painting we show here. And we can also convert it to some other styles, right? Like a starry night, right? So, by the style transfer, we can change the image from one style to another. This style transfer is very fancy, I think, right? And it is also very interesting. And if you are interested in the style transfer, you can also search online. There will be so many different tutorial articles here, and you can play with it, and also transfer with some image you have in your hand, right? And to convert them into different styles, which will be very interesting. Besides the style transfer, we can also do some other tasks with computer vision, right? Like in this page, we show you with example for the image colorization. In other words, we can convert one image from the grayscale image to the corner image instead. And we have to assign a pixel with some corners instead, right? So this colorization actually be very tricky because we have to decide the specific corners for each pixel. However, if we don't have enough data to learn the potential corner for the pixel, then the learning process will be very challenging. Normally, this image colorization will be very important because we can convert some older photos to the current photos nowadays. Also, convert some older movies from the grayscale to the color movies instead, which will be very important for many of the industries in the real world. Besides the colorization, we can also do some other interesting tasks in computer vision, like the image reconstruction. I'm not sure in your family, right, if you have any old photos. For me, I have some old photos. However, I didn't store them properly, and some of the corners they are peeled off. And I can recover these photos and maybe go to some stores. This can be very costly. But I can do the image reconstruction very easily via different models, right? So as shown in this page, I'm given some of the destroyed images or the image with some noise data inputs, right? Then we can reconstruct the images into perfect ones as shown in this page. Like from this one to this one, right? And from this one to this one. You can see the reconstruction can be very perfect in many of the examples as shown here. And we can precisely, reconstruct many of the pixels in the images and to remove this kind of noise, right? Besides reconstruction, we can also do another interesting task. It's called image super resolution. According to as seen in the names, we can convert the image from lower resolution to a higher resolution instead. This can be very useful for the movie industry, right? If we have some older movies, and we can reproduce the new movies based on them. I'm not sure if you have watched the Titanic, this reproduced version series ago. I think they have a new version coming out with both 4K and 3D, right? And so you can use the computer vision techniques to help them improve the resolution from low to higher, to 4K, and you can also add more detailed information into these images, like shown here, right? So the image super resolution can be also very interesting in the real world. If you are interested in them, you can also try to play with it, with some toy data set and with some code, right? And last one we want to introduce in the lecture is about image synthesis, which is very correlated with the image generation as well as the image style transfer, right? So normally given some input information, we can generate some new images according to our requirements. In this page, we show you with some examples for the image synthesis, like to generate some new images based on the inputs, which can be either generate some paintings or generate some photos or generate zebra, horse, or generate the photos in different seasons. Now the first column, we can generate a new photo based on Monet, his painting, right? Or we can generate a new painting based on further input, right? Which is very similar to a style transfer. However, here we do the generation of some new images. Besides the first one, we can also actually generate some new creatures based on the input data, right? Now here we can generate a photo of a horse based on the photos of zebra actually. Or we can generate a new photo of the zebra based on the photo of a horse instead. which can be very interesting, right? Because we can generate photos of some new creatures which don't really exist on this planet. For example, if we change this horse to a cow or to a sheep, we can also add this zebra style texture onto this core, onto this sheep, right? We can generate some new style, new creatures which don't really exist on this planet. Also, given the image, we can also change the season styling in the images. Now here we have several photos about Yosemite, and we can take the photos maybe in the summer. However, if we are wondering what this photo will be like in the winter, then we can generate some new images about the same thing, however with different seasons, from summer to winter, or from winter to summer instead, right? According to the ideas you have in mind, you can generate different kinds of images actually. And you can try to play with them if you are interested. You can search online for some source code and also for some data sets, and then can try to see if you can train a model, do the image synthesis, or do the super resolution, or do the reconstruction, or do the colorization, etc. So these kinds of problems can be very interesting, and can try to play with them if you are interested in them and after class.